Hello, boxing fans. We're here with another news update. I'm your host, Kurt Ward, and I'm joined today by Adam Smith, Brian King, Alex Morris, and Paul Webb. And we're going to be discussing the announcement today that Andre Ward, who was obviously the best super middleweight in the world, one of the top boxers in the world, who hasn't been in the ring since his November 2013 victory over Edwin Rodriguez. He's going to make his return on June the 20th in Auckland, and his opponent is going to be Britain's own Paul Smith. Brian, I think I'll go to you first on this. It shocked a few people, and some people are saying, what is Ward doing taking on someone like Smith? I mean, what's Ward doing taking on this kind of fight? I mean, it's because people are going to obviously see it as a mismatch.
Ward's a fucking disgrace. That's for start. Absolute disgrace. There's no reason for him to take a tune up. Like I said last night, maybe they'll come back after 22 months. Right, granted, he dragged somebody up for another weight limit, but that's a future Hall of Famer. Marquez beat Pacquiao, and he's like fighting like Paul Smith. Paul Smith's absolute fucking dog shit. His best wins what Tony Dodson. Tony fucking Dodson, right? Let's be honest here. Who couldn't beat him? Who could beat him? Eh? Who could beat him like Isaac Chilemba? Um, I'm not fucking raging right now. I don't know what to say. I really am. See if this wasn't on Sky, I wouldn't bother Marsh, right? But I'm having to fucking pay money for this push, and I don't want to hear it's a good payday for him because I don't get the money. I couldn't give a shit whether he gets paid or never gets paid. I don't care if it's a retirement fund. Get a job like the rest is. Why the fuck should he have a retirement when he's only in his early 30s and I get a job like every other cunt? Because he's a boxer and all that, he's entitled to like fucking do a barker, get his cunt kicked in and fuck off with hundreds of money. I can fucking go and bite my balls.
Paul, I'll come to you next. When I first heard about this fight, I mean, we heard about it. It was rumored a few weeks ago, but obviously today it was officially confirmed. I actually had thoughts to Michael Jennings when he faced Miguel Cotto. I mean, amazingly, there was a vacant world title on the line for that one. But on paper, I mean, it's a mismatch. I mean, do you see comparisons between that kind of fight? Maybe Gary Lockett against Kelly Pavlik as well from a few years back.
Yeah, I think the Lockett and the Pavlik fight's a good comparison because again, a lot of these fighters either coming off. You look at a fighter that's coming off an injury or a loss or a long layoff, and that's when they tend to get matched with this sort of an opponent. I mean, you can't. No one can criticise Paul Smith. Why wouldn't he take this fight? It's
Brian
as
just
Brian says.
has.
It's I know. Well, he can. If you criticise his ability, but you can't criticise his decision to take the fight. Someone's phoned him up and gone, "All right, Paul, you've lost two fights in a row. You're not very good. How would you like a crack at Andre Ward in America on BET, and who doesn't want to be fighting on BET and earn a decent amount of money? Of course, he's going to go for it. No issue with Paul Smith taking the fight. Andre Ward isn't a murderous puncher, so it's not like he's probably going to walk through Smith and around because that's just he could do it, but that's just not his style. So there's no real reason for him to do that. I just think that we get a lot of English fighters who end up fighting dross from overseas that get brought in, and we look at it as being a total mismatch. Well, there are very few Brits that go abroad to fight. We don't send that many. Jennings and Lockett, this was years ago now, so it's about time the amount of Mexican and South American fodder that we have, it's about time we sent some the other way.
I agree with what you're saying. I mean, to his credit, I mean Smith is taking his fight. Like in the sport now, you got guys like Frampton, Quigg. They're not fighting the top guys, or they're not even fighting each other. And there's so many fighters who are refusing to fight the top guys. I mean, from Smith's point of view, he's not going to be given a chance in this fight, yet he's taking it. So you got to say fair play to him for that. Alex, I mean, is Ward allowed? Should he be allowed this type of fight, or should he be in with a much better opponent, even despite he's been out for like what is it, a year and a half now?
Well, you expect a sort of a tune-up, I suppose, from being 18 months out, but someone of Ward's caliber really shouldn't be fighting such a bad opponent. I mean, he should be fighting someone that's at least top 10, top 5 in his division, because he would win so easily. I mean, when Americans eventually Google who Paul Smith is, they're going to think that he's some 68-year-old fashion designer, because that's the first name that pops up on a
From
Google.
Nottingham.
Yeah. But and then they realise, oh, it's a boxer, and they check box rec. Oh, he lost twice to Arthur Abraham, who fucking Ward destroyed, over 12 rounds, and Carl Froch destroyed over 12 rounds. Arthur Abraham, the completely fucking shot fighter, who made Paul Smith in their rematch at least look complete dross and almost stopped him. And in the first match, Smith again looked shit and got beat handily, but had the gift of bad scorecards, which enabled him a rematch, which probably enabled him this fight now. I mean, do you think Paul Smith would be in this situation now if he didn't get that second Arthur Abraham fight?
No.
I mean, I can't really blame Smith for taking this fight, but it's the series of events that have led him to this fight and, to the paydays that he's had. He's just been very fortunate, and it's an indictment of the sport, really. I mean, we always criticize it when, other fighters and big fighters fight complete dross, but when it's one of our own, it's all right. We're like, oh yeah, Paul Smith, he's going over there to fight Andre Ward. We should get behind him. We should support him. No, it's a complete shit fight. Andre Ward shouldn't be fighting the likes of Paul Smith. He should be fighting a top 10 opponent, or just anyone half decent, anyone who's not on a 2-fight losing streak, anyone who didn't get blasted out by George Groves in 2 rounds. It's embarrassing. And, I'm sick of this attitude that, we can't blame. Well, I suppose we can't blame Paul Smith, but someone's got to take a blame for this fight, and this fight shouldn't be happening. It's an utter mismatch, and he's either going to get stopped or badly hurt, because that's how the degree of a mismatch that it is.
I tell you how shite it is. It's not even on fucking Sky Sports News. Sky Sports, like the website. I'm on the website now because I wanted to look to see if it was like a catch weight, and there's fuck all on it here. The Sky Sports are even thinking it's a piss take.
Well, HBO, they obviously rejected the fight. They rejected that because obviously Periban, I think, was the first name that was offered to HBO, and they said no. So I think Ward and Rock Nation quickly realised that the tune-up bout wouldn't be shown on HBO, and which is right on their part, you have to say. But
that's just basically another fucking date that are time consuming that Eddie Hearn's putting another fucking shit card on. It's going to be on Sky, right? Although it's not under Matchroom, it's still a shit card. Why not stick it on fucking Fight Pass? There's nothing on Fight Pass. That's getting back to the people that's paying that money that's getting fuck all for it anyway. I don't want that on fucking Sky Sports. I'm paying good money for this.
I don't know. I don't understand the argument that you'd rather just not see it. I mean, this is Andre Ward's fought once in 3 years. Forget the 18 months rubbish. He's fought once in 3 years. He is one of the best fighters in the world, if not Mayweather aside, the best fighter in the world. And would I rather see him against Paul Smith, who may not be the best fighter in Britain or even his own family, but at least he'll show up on weight, at least he'll show up in shape, and he'll give it a go, rather than fight someone like Periban.
He'll show up on weight because he's not even a super middleweight. He's too lazy to fight at fucking middleweight.
I'm saying, but would you rather watch that, or would you rather watch Periban rock up at 172 and fall over in a round? Now, Smith might fall over in a round, but at least he'll do it trying.
Like I said earlier, this thing about Periban and Smith, it's like asking if you want pissed or shat on. Just because one's less shite than the other one doesn't mean it's good. The two of them are fucking terrible. None of these fights should...
They are. They're both poor options. But like I said, unless Ward's going to walk straight into because this is obviously going to be quite a cheap fight for them to put on, and it's obviously his first fight with Rock Nation. They're not going to look at trying to make mega fights. Obviously, they looked at trying to get options with Froch, and that's not happened for whatever reason. But this way, Andre Ward's fighting on Sky, so he stays in the sort of English boxing fans' conscious. So if we ever look at doing the Ward rematch, they can hype that up a bit more. I'm sorry, the Froch rematch, they can hype that up a bit more. It's not a great fight. It's not even a good fight.
Look at the politics. He does the commentating on HBO, right? Jay-Z is massive on HBO. He does shows on there. And even HBO have told him to fuck off. It's not on their channel. So if it's not good enough for HBO, it shouldn't be fucking good enough for Sky Sports. Why should we get the dog shit?
Adam, I'll come to you. I don't think we've heard your thoughts on this. I mean, are you happy that Smith's got this fight, and what do you make of it?
Look, I am not going to criticise Paul Smith or Eddie Hearn for this. He's going to take the money, and he's going to get battered. Andre Ward will knock Paul Smith out. That I'm pretty certain of. I know it might not be classed as bigger banger as Arthur Abraham, and Abraham failed twice to do that. Andre Ward will stop Paul Smith. It's poor, but I'm just looking at the options really for Ward. In the top 10, 15, there's a lot of European influence. There's a lot of Al Heyman influence with the Durrells and Badu Jack, I think, that's fighting this weekend. We've got Groves and DeGale tied up. Frotch, I'm surprised we've gone 15 minutes on the call without any criticism towards that man. I won't do it. So there ain't that many options for Ward. It's a better fight than Periban. Periban would have been a shocking opponent after what DeGale did to him last time out, I think, in November. It is poor in that, as has been covered, HBO have even rejected it. I mean, Andre Ward could not be more well in with HBO if he tried. He sits on the bloody commentary desk. He's got the Jay-Z influence, and even they've turned it down. That's just an illustration, really, of how poor it is. But we can't be criticising Paul Smith. He might not. Paul, I was going to use that line. He might not even be the best super middleweight in the family, and he's going to fight Andre Ward. I want to know why it's a non-title bout, please.
Well,
I presume it's because Smith's not ranked, is he?
No,
And
he's
also
not ranked.
Ward,
Rocky Fielding's ranked in the WBA. That's another fucking stupid
yeah,
thing.
chasing the WBO, wasn't he? So Rocky, he was never in the WBA. I don't think he's ever been in the WBA rankings. And with Ward being the super champ, he would have to 100% have to be in the top 15.
But
They couldn't make a
apparently
voluntary out of the top 15.
Fielding was actually offered the fight with Andre Ward, but turned it down because he said
Fighting Vera.
Yeah, for the fight, how hard it fight was, he wasn't being paid enough. That's what he actually
I'm looking
said.
at the rankings right now, and Smith isn't ranked in the top 15.
The rankings are a fucking mess anyway. All the time.
Yeah, I know that. But it's good.
I mean, Fielding, to be fair, one of the guys spoke to him the day, Fielding obviously got the Vera fight, but he was offered Ward, he's been offered Jalen Love. He's had some decent fights put forward to him, and like I said, but it's just not worked out, whereas Paul Smith said yes straight away. And I saw an interview with him on Sky Sports, not on Sky Sports, with on IFL earlier, and I didn't disagree with anything he said. He said, I'm going as the underdog. He says he knows it's going to be a massive challenge, but why would he
Nobody's
turn it down?
criticising him for taking the fight. This isn't the point. It's the whole politics of the fact that it's a fucking mismatch. It shouldn't it shouldn't be getting sanctioned. Well, if it's not for the belt, so what? If it's 172, surely that can't be right either. If it's going to be 172, Ward's massive as it is at that weight, and Paul Smith isn't a super middleweight. He could end up getting a fucking serious bad one. And fair enough, the money's all right, but why should we have to put? Why should it be on our TV? It should be fucked on something else. I'm not paying for Sky Sports to have this shite. How many mismatches have we had this year? And that's just going to fucking top it off.
You just got to look at it as well. Andre Ward, was he numbered? He was sitting just behind Floyd Mayweather in the pound for pound list, wasn't he, at one stage? I mean, shouldn't we be demanding a better opponent? Even though we obviously understand he's been out and he's not going to go right in with the best guy, but it just seems everyone just like you said. No one's going to criticise Paul Smith for taking the fight, but from Andre Ward's point of view, it's a bad fight to take.
The thing is, though, Ward, like I said, you're right, he hasn't fought in 18 months, and he has been out, and he's been so inactive that he just wants a gimme. And sometimes fighters just want a gimme, and when they take that gimme option, they end up losing the big HBO or the Showtime deal. They end up losing the prestige of the fight. But Andre Ward just wants a gimme, and the fact that just to see him in a ring with gloves on. And bear in mind, like I said, he was number 2 in everyone's pound-for-pound rankings, but he's not anymore. And the reason he's not is because he's not fought for well over a year. So just to have him back fighting, not in a courtroom, not wearing a suit on HBO, I'm all for that. And if he wipes Paul Smith out in a couple of rounds, well, so be it. He then fights someone better next. I mean, would you rather just have it not on TV? It's an extra date for Sky because it's not a matchroom show. So Sky are having this as an additional date to their calendar. I don't see any issue with them having the fight broadcast or Paul Smith at all. The criticism's towards Ward, but he wants a gimme, and he's got himself a gimme, and he's lost out on certain things because of that.
Well, see if he didn't come on here with attitude. I don't get the attitude of the people over in Britain where you want to try against the best and they shit on you. They're just jealous of somebody trying to earn a pound. No, I couldn't give a fuck about who's earning what. I don't care about the money. That's not the fucking point here, and that's the attitude of him. He rubs people up the wrong way and all, which is especially why people get pissed off. But he's turning around and making out as if people that are criticising this is jealous because of the money. I don't even know what the fuck he's getting. For all I know, he could be getting about 2 bob and Joe Gallagher taking the rest. So I don't understand that either. It's nothing to do with the money.
His actual quote on the purse is that for the money offered, he would have fought Vladimir Klitschko. Apparently, it's a great offer. So, I mean, but like I said, Rocky Fielding was offered. He was offered the fight award and he turned it down. He said it wasn't a good offer. So unless Smith, because he's been in the fights with Abraham, I don't know.
I think he carries a bit more of a name on Sky, certainly, and he can. At least people know who he is. More people know Paul Smith than Rocky Fielding, even though I think Rocky Fielding would beat Paul Smith in the same way that Paul Smith would lose to his brother. But more people know about Paul than they do about Callum. So he's a bigger name. He's well in with Sky in the same way that Andre Ward is well in with things in America. It's done and it's going to be on Sky, and you don't have to stay up till 4 a.m. to watch it because it will be a 4 a.m. Oakland job. But why not?
So I take it no one's giving Paul a chance in hell then?
I had more of a chance getting a ticket for the Mayweather fight than he has. He going to 12 rounds in this.
He won't go the distance. But
No.
Ward, it's just not. I mean, if Ward could knock him out in the first round, but it's just not Andre
I mean,
Ward's style. I think
I
Ward
think Ward's
stops him
power's
late.
underrated. I think it's underrated. See, if
I
you
mean,
watch the Frodge fight with just one hand, he bullied him and he was pushing
he
Frodge
just
back. He's got power.
he,
He's
he just doesn't
strong, but I don't
Aye.
think
he just
he's
doesn't use
powerful.
it. Yeah, it's like in in the Rodriguez fight. There were times when you just thought you could put him away here, and he's a bit in the Mayweather camp where Mayweather's got power, but it's how he doesn't want to take a risk to use it. And Andre Ward won't take a risk to take a single punch if it means putting more into the shot. He's like the anti-Golovkin pretty much in terms of how he fights. So I think he beats Paul Smith. I think he stops him within 5 or 6 rounds, but it won't be a one-round blowout.
Just thinking about it for Smith, the biggest fight other than this one that is remarkably been offered would have probably been Rocky Fielding. And for that fight, although pretty big on the domestic scene, massive in Liverpool, he ain't going to get paid nowhere near as much as what he is against Andre Ward. And in world title and American TV terms, he ain't getting paid that much to fight Ward in relative terms, but it's still a lot more than what it would be against Rocky Fielding. But if you just think about what Paul Smith, by the time he gets in the ring on June the 20th, it will be nearly 2 years to the day since he beat Tony Dodson in which was a decent fight, but obviously Dodson is no way near, not even British level, never mind European or world. And if you'd have said to him on that night, if you'd have interviewed him after and said, right, in the next 2 years you're going to fight twice for the WBO title, and then you're going to fight, without question, the best super middleweight on the planet, all really, it's going to be within about 8 months. He's going to have fought Abraham twice and Ward once. I mean, it's just a nut story. It would have been crazy to turn it down, and he's got a lot of thanks to the judges from, I think, last September, was it, when he went to Germany. He's got a lot of thanks to them, because that wouldn't have got him the rematch, and as mentioned earlier, probably wouldn't have got him in with Ward.
But Adam, do we now say that Smith is a bigger warrior than Carl Froch? I mean, he fought DeGale and he's going to fight Andre Ward.
Well, he's fought DeGale and
And
Groves.
Froch don't want DeGale and doesn't want Ward either, so...
Well, currently maybe not, but as I keep saying and keep repeating, Cole Froch edges towards retirement with each and every day that passes.
Right,
And,
because fucking Chavez get cobraed.
Chavez got absolutely flattened, didn't he? Yeah.
and Adam, have we got any early odds on this Smith-Ward fight at all, or...?
Yeah, you can get 10-1 Ward. Sorry, whoa. You can get 10-1 Smith, and Andre Ward is 1-33. Now,
Fuck's sake.
I think looking at Ward's record, I know we've covered his power a little bit. I know he's not certainly not no monster in the power department, but he is strong. He did bully Kesler, he did bully Froch. We saw what he did to Dawson. So I don't know. When I first saw it, I thought, he might get an okay price on the Ward KO. But when I saw 1-33 today, you certainly will not get a good price on Andre Ward to score a KO, which is right, really, because we've all said that it will happen. So.
Sweet baby Jesus.
So I think we're all agreeing. We think Smith is stopped then. Was anyone
Yes.
thinking he can see the distance? No.
No,
No.
not in
Paul
this
Smith
fight.
KO too.
Smith to become the best super middleweight in the world while Froch lingers in number 2 spot. Could it happen,
Well, I'll tell you
Adam?
what.
No. Why are we here, Kurt? I know. Just say Ward comes through this, which we're expecting to do so, and he's back out again, later on in the year. Where does he actually go? Because as mentioned earlier, a lot of them are tied up with Heyman. A lot of them won't want to fight Ward for obvious reasons. They'll want to keep hold of their little slice of the belt, the Durrells. Abraham, Stieglitz, and Sturm will keep hold of it in Germany. Where does he actually go?
You-
Does he move up to light
Light
heavy?
heavy.
Yeah, I mean that's
Light
what
heavy.
that's what you'd assume. But I mean, because he's beat everybody at super middleweight already. I mean, if the Frotch fight's not going to happen, there's no real any point in staying
I
there. I
don't know why
mean,
he doesn't go over to Germany. What's the problem with going to Germany? Like, he's already beat Abraham before. Let's see if he had no problem with coming over to fight Carl Froch. We'll go to Germany then. It's easy fights
Yeah.
for you, big money in a big fucking stadium.
Well, with Arthur Abraham and Andre Ward, you've got two of the probably most home. Well, I can't think of the word, but two of the fighters that stay at home the most out of probably anyone.
And that would prove a point, no, if he went to Germany. Why not?
Oh yeah, it would. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know this fucking fight. Honestly, he could have fought. He's like number one mandatory, couldn't he? And Chudinov, that would have been an even better fight. Nobody would have bothered about that. It's not as if Chudinov would have beat him. But here we are. No, fuck Eddie Hearn. He's a cunt, man. I'm raging.
You can't blame Eddie for this one, Bri.
I'd like to thank Adam Smith, Brian King, Alex Morris, Paul Webb. I've been your host, Kurt Ward. Thanks for listening. Leave your comments underneath and subscribe. And if you think Paul Smith has a chance, let us know.
48 and 0
Thanks.
TMT.